Hi, this is Sara Levin, theartfulinker of theartfulinker.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm here to share with you this Way to Goat birthday card with the center pop-up. So let me set this aside and we'll get to creating. For this card, we're going to start with the Way to Goat stamp set and a piece of Whisper White cardstock and Night of Navy ink. And I'm going to stamp a couple of the goats from Way to Goat. First this one, and then let's making sure I've tapped on enough ink. And this one. And then I need a couple of the sentiments. And then finally, this last sentiment. Okay, so let's close up the ink and do a little bit of coloring. So I've got some Stampin' Blends here. Smoky Slate, the combo, Dark Daffodil Delight, and then Light Crumb Cake. Just looking for my brush tips. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit of color in on the goats. So I'm flicking in a little bit of the dark Smoky Slate, and I'm going to just blend that out a little bit on and then let's give them a little bit of color here on the top. And down into his legs. So we're going to come over to her and do the same treatment. You could certainly do an all over coloring if that's what you desire. This seemed to be enough for my purposes. It gives the idea of color without having, without doing the all over coloring, pardon me. And we'll do her legs. And I'm just kind of sketching this in there a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with this crumb cake and give the antlers, horns, a little bit of color. And let's cap these up. And come over here to the Dark Daffodil Delight and just give some color in here. And then I'm going to take my paper snips and cut her loose. And cut him loose. Okay. And then just a quick, remember you're turning the paper, not the snips, as you as you cut. And you can leave a border around if you choose to, or cut in close to the line, whatever feels comfortable for your design. And I'm coming in and giving this more shape. You could certainly cut further out around. And I laugh at all the cards I've done lately with some fussy cutting, because I always say I don't like it, and yet I seem to be doing a lot of it lately. So who knows? Okay, so I'm going to cut her out and cut out my sentiments, and I'll be back. Okay, so I used my paper snips to cut the two goats and this sentiment, and then this final sentiment I used the Tasteful Labels dies, this one here with the two banner ends and the stitching all around. So let's push these aside and get the strip ready for the inside of the card. This is, yes, 1.5 by 8.5, and we're going to put the first score line, I don't know why, but in the middle for my purposes at 4 1/4. And then we're going to score each end at 2 1/8. Okay, and that's done. Now you want to fold this in the middle and then fold these pieces up like this so that you've got a W or an M depending on how you hold that, and give it a burnish on those folds with your bone folder. Next, I've used the Old World paper embossing folder and embossed 2 pieces of Whisper White. You can see the great texture there. And I've got a Night of Navy base, and we're just going to insert these pieces. And you can decide whether you want this great texture up, so it's the bumpier side up, or whether you want the more recessed side up. I'm using my multi-purpose glue. And this will be the part of the inside of our card. Now we're going to go back to this strip, and I'm going to add Stampin' Seal Plus. Let me just, and I'm using the plus because since this is a movement mechanism, it will get lots of pulling on it. And let's set that out of the way and decide where, how high up or down you want to have this. And I'm going for middle-ish. And let's make sure my card is straight using the lines on the grid paper. And once you set this down, there is no wiggle room for movement. And I'm just going to bring my card across and rub it down. And then I've got the closed point on the outside there. And then we're just going to add the Stampin' Seal Plus to this other side. Oops. Let's roll that forward a little bit. There we go. Just trying to make sure I lay down enough of that. And close. Okay, let's close this up and put it out of the way. And then on the front, I have a piece of this Artistry Blooms designer paper. It is a 12 by 12 paper pack, 6 double-sided designs with 2 sheets of each, and these are great gradient textures. This one here and here give you more of an idea of how they fade and blend through colors that you don't see as much on these two. Okay, and we're just going to see a great little ombre with some nice crackle texture in it on the back side. But for my purposes, I want these brush strokes to be the side that's showing. Okay, and let me grab some dimensionals. So I've got a stitch shaped circle here out of Whisper White, and I've used the stitched triangles, these equilateral triangles, and then this banner here to cut shapes for my card. And we're going to start with putting this on with some dimensionals. And I'm not going to remove those just yet. We're going to have her peeking out from behind this circle, so you won't see all of her. That may change how you decide to do some of your fussy cutting. So let's just pat her down. Now we'll put this on. Okay, and then add this triangle in the Coastal Cabana with some dimensionals. Sort of points to opening up to the inside. And then I've got an old olive banner here and my numbers that I cut with the Playful Alphabet dies, and these come with the full alphabet, your set of numbers, and then like your hashtag and some quotation marks and other question marks, other punctuation that you might need. So my sentiment here, I'm going to put that on a dimensional, and I want just a part of this banner to go under my sentiment. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit of glue here. Oops, maybe. And attach this center banner piece. Let's slide this off and pick it up. And let's see if we can sneak one more dimensional here onto the back now that our banner has been added. Fingers are not cooperating today with pulling these off. And I want to set one more back here. Since this will not be on the triangle, we need a double stack. Ugh. Sorry for the fumbling. Okay. And how about we get that straight? So let's give it a pull and twist a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere my numbers directly. So adding a little bit of multi-purpose glue. Just want to dot that on. Straighten that up. And I'm just going to do the top part of this number because it's going to hang off the bottom of the triangle a little bit. Okay, like so. And now it's time to move to the inside. So I have some stitch-shaped squares that we're going to use on these outside panels, and I'm going to adhere the squares directly to the panels, and I'm just looking to kind of center them with the fold there, and just putting adhesive in the middle. Oops. And then add a couple of dimensionals on the triangles. Be sure you're not crossing this score line. And again, let's put this down and not cross the score line. I'm using these to point to what's happening in the center, which is this cutie. And then we're going to add this sentiment. And I'm going to do it at an angle on here. And since I've got a little bit of this left, why don't we add a little banner here. So I'm going to cut this end off. I'm going to put this down first. Oops. I am just struggling with those today. Okay. And then dab on a little bit of glue here for our banner. And tuck this right up in there. Okay. And then, since we obviously can't write a message on the inside, we need a piece, or I like to add a piece to the back. I've got a coordinating strip of the Artistry Blooms designer paper that I'm going to add near the bottom of this panel. and then I will write my message on this before I adhere it to the back. This is lumpy enough when folded that writing would be hard if you do that first. So here is our Way to Goat birthday card with the pop-up center. Have a great day. This is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker of theartfulinker.com. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you say. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and then click the bell if you would like to receive notifications of the next videos I upload. And have a great day. Bye.